This is her platform. The key issues: healthcare for all people, affordable housing, rebuild the unions, federal job guarantee, free public college, create clean energy jobs, pay parental leave, and expand protections for the LGBTQ+ community. If that is too progressive for this country, then that's a problem for the Democrats, and that's a problem, quite frankly, for this country.
That used to be a description of a liberal.
But the Medicare, healthcare for all should be an everybody issue.
Anna Kasparian is going after The View as well as Sunny Hostin for all of a sudden having a come to Jesus moment where they're now going after or going against the Democrat establishment. Now, Anna Kasparian has often criticized The View as well as Hostin of coddling with the Democrat elites and establishment, where Anna Kasparian does go ahead and blame them as a part of the problem for everything that's going wrong in the country. Now, Anna Kasparian in the past has criticized The View as well as other woke left-wing media outlets for basically censorship as well as ignoring the problems in today's society. And Anna Kasparian is also criticizing The View, or actually exposing The View for what they actually went on their head and stated that, you know, they're basically attacking the Democrat establishment. But it makes me wonder what took them so long. I wonder why. Could it be because Trump is in office now, or about to be in office since he's president-elect, and there's nothing they can do? Or could it be because their jobs are on the line? So let's go ahead and get into this discussion of Anna Kasparian talking about The View, including Sunny Hostin. If you enjoy what was shared in this channel, go ahead and smash the like button, share the video, follow our across social media, and subscribe to the channel, and click the bell notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Let's go ahead and get into it.
The other thing that I will say is about AOC. She has been demonized by the right, and she's been demonized as this like too progressive, far left person. And I want to try to set the record straight, because if she is too progressive, then the Democrats really are going to lose the working class.
Joe Biden, he did not retire early enough so that there could be an open, what do they call it, primary.
There was a fascinating discussion over at The View today, and it had to do with something that transpired in regard to a leadership battle for the House Oversight Committee. And that leadership battle was between progressive Democratic lawmaker Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and a more moderate centrist Democrat, and that was Democratic Representative Connolly, right? So there was a vote on that issue, and it turns out that behind the scenes, you had former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi essentially whipping votes against AOC to ensure that Congressman Connolly would be the Democratic leader within that House Oversight Committee. And so it's nice hearing Sunny Hostin defend Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because I recall the days when corporate media, for the most part, was siding with Nancy Pelosi and trashing members of the squad, progressive members of Congress. But that's not the case in this conversation. So that was surprising. But I also thought it was interesting when Sunny Hostin specifically listed what AOC's values are. The list was interesting, and what wasn't in the list was also interesting. So without further ado, let's watch more of Sunny Hostin's commentary on AOC.
This is her platform. The key issues: healthcare for all people, affordable housing, rebuild the unions, federal job guarantee, free public college, create clean energy jobs, pay parental leave, and expand protections for the LGBTQ+ community. If that is too progressive for this country, then that's a problem for the Democrats, and that's a problem, quite frankly, for this country.
That used to be a description of a liberal.
But Medicare, healthcare for all should be an everybody issue.
So I thought that list of policy goals that AOC certainly does hold was a good list for the most part. And, what I thought was interesting was that Sunny Hostin is smart enough to understand that those are policies that tend to have broader appeal among the electorate. I mean, there is a reason why there's this populist wing of the Republican voting base right now. And certainly that has existed among the left for forever. But, she understands that the economic stuff really appeals to people. And she just kind of downplayed some of the more, I think like social justice, social policies that AOC talks about. But I think what AOC does correctly is that she manages to balance her messaging on both, as opposed to only focusing on the social stuff and then engaging in like scolding people if they're not completely on board with what she.
Bull crap, just all bull crap. You see, Anna Kasparian, bless her heart, I mean, at least she's talking about this, but at the same time, Anna Kasparian needs to understand that AOC is not really authentic, balancing with the messaging and stuff. Nah, nowhere. And then there's also The View and everything where they're talking about, they should go ahead and focus more on identity politics and woke ideology and everything. When in reality, that's something the people are not worried about. And Anna Kasparian needs to go ahead and understand that. Otherwise, this is going to have more of the same problems and stuff where while a lot of people in the government and stuff and in media are more concerned about identity politics, you got more people getting harmed or, deleted, removed from the earth, if you will, or even, actually RAP3'd. And it's like, it's like the more you focus on identity politics and everything rather than protecting all the citizens, no matter who they are, as well as enforcing the law, then guess what? Everything's going to falter. And then there's also the issue with the economy. We've seen that for the past 4 years, and Anna Kasparian herself seen it as well. She even experienced assaults from a certain homeless man that wanted to harm her. So I'm not sure, like AOC is basically a part of the problem. And hopefully this is just, just Anna Kasparian agreeing with AOC, but not actually supporting AOC in policy.
He wants for that stuff. Because I think that's what's kind of turned some people off on the left. But I'm curious what you think about that, Waz.
I think The View, they've been on a roller coaster, right? They were anti-Biden getting pushed out, and Biden is fine. He's not too old, and all right. And then they became Kamala coconuts overnight, and they loved the coconut Kamala. And they went crazy for that, and they were just so sure she was gonna win. And I think, unlike a lot of people, Morning Joe, they're like a little bit self-reflective as to what happened in the last election. I think that's one, that they understand that they need to be more self-reflective. And two, I think what you're seeing, honestly, Anna, is the power of celebrity. Mm-hmm. AOC is a celebrity. She is a star. Yeah. She counts for a star in the Democratic Party in 2024. And it doesn't take a genius to be like, wait a second. This is one of the few stars we've produced. This woman stands for all of the right things that any Democrat, any self-professed liberal, you go to a cocktail party, it's like, you know what, man? We need to get the people some health care. You know what, man? The people are complaining about the rent being too high. Like, any freaking lib could accept those as, respectable issues that should be platformed. So,
but guess what? That's why a number of those liberals out there voted for Trump. Okay? The cost of living is going high. We all know that. But the Democrats are simply, and this is through an email that Nancy Pelosi sent to different Democrats and stuff, I think throughout Congress or certain organizations or whatever. I can't really remember. But she said it in this email, go and listen to the community leaders and everything and activists, listen to them, but don't give them what they demand. Okay, and that's what led to what helped to lead to the many problems that the Democrat Party is facing, as well as what the whole nation is facing when it comes to economy and safety. Now, Anna Kasparian, she knows this all too well, and I hope she will actually address this even further.
Oh, I think what these women at The View are saying is like, what's the harm in the foul here? Like, what did AOC do to not deserve this promotion when, you know, she vice chaired this same committee. She's put in all the work. Again, one of the things you want these people to do is to be able to go, you know, use the megaphone and actually spread your positions far and wide. AOC has demonstrated an ability to do that. Like, you know, liberals are obsessed with qualifications. She qualifies.
Totally.
But
yeah.
there's just no two ways about it. I think the women of the View are expressing this obvious, you know, opinion.
Now we're going to go to Alyssa Farah Griffith in just a minute because she did have a rebuttal for Sunny Hostin that I think is worth listening to. But you make a really great point, Waz, because remember, Congressman Jerry Connolly, you know, he's up there in age. He's 74 years old. And he also has esophageal cancer, which has a very low survival rate. I hate talking about that because it's brutal. And I don't want anyone to think I'm attacking him. But the point is, you know, there's this unwillingness by older leadership in Congress, in the Democratic Party specifically, to step aside and allow for younger, newer leadership that's a lot more energetic, better at communicating. And you're right. I mean, AOC has proven herself to be a far better speaker and promoter of the, you know, values and policies that the Democratic Party purports to want to champion and pass. And so with that in mind, I want to go to J4 here. This is Alyssa Farah Griffin responding to critique about how AOC's policies are too radical, like radical left. Obviously, Sunny Hostin disagrees with that, and that's why she listed the economic policies, but Farah Griffin wasn't going to let her get away with that. So let's take a look.
But the devil's in the details, because a lot of this country does not support, for example, the Green New Deal, which would absolutely crush jobs across this country, wreak havoc on the economy.
It would create millions of jobs, actually.
It would actually make international travel virtually impossible to do because of some of the regulations that have been in place. Universal health care. You should have, of course, anyone who needs emergency coverage, people should have catastrophic coverage, but most Americans think they want to have some choice and optionality in their health care. There's a reason Obamacare did not have the public option. That's not where the majority of the country is. I would argue that AOC is definitely too left for the majority of the country.
So I disagree with what Alyssa Farah Griffin said there. So first of all, like the Green New Deal was such a massive piece of legislation. I mean, which provisions are we talking about here? And look, I've been on the record and people have gotten mad at me. I don't care. I'm going to say it again. If you write climate-related legislation in a way that puts the financial burden on individual Americans, yeah, they're not going to like it, okay? If it becomes this like super expensive burden on ordinary American workers and they're forced to buy certain cars or replace certain appliances in their home without any real government support. And when I say real government support, I'm not just talking about tax credits, okay? Take your tax credits and you can shove it. Okay, tax credits is like, oh, you might, you know, a certain portion of your income might be tax deductible. It's not good enough, okay? Because people have to pay for things up front, and a lot of American families can't afford that. So if it has to do with provisions that are written in that way, I can see those provisions being unpopular. But to just say the Green New Deal is unpopular, okay, well, what's your evidence of that? And which parts of that massive bill are you referring to? The other thing is, what is she talking about with the healthcare? So she says, yeah, so I'm going to let you jump in with that, Wad.
Yeah, this is basically going nowhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and end it right here. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you may have in this particular topic. If you enjoy what was shared in this video, go ahead and smash the like button, share the video far across social media. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, click bell notifications so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.